Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lateral Move. No PC culture, all comedy, everything keeping it 1,000. I'm RJ Bam. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Man, we're gonna start doing a new thing now at the beginning of every episode, and it's gonna be saying trips up, baby. That's right. You can throw it this way, the frontwards, backwards, whatever you want. Trips up. The idea of trips up is be a triple threat of yourself, man. Don't let nobody put you in a box. Don't let them put you. You're more than just like LeBron say. He more than just an athlete. You're more than whatever the fuck you think you are. You're more than just a father or a husband or a wife or a daughter. You're more than just a student. You're more than just like if you're a fucking meathead at the gym. You're more than just a meathead. You know, you can be a scholar as well. You can be into arts, into the arts. You can be into arts and craft. You can be into music. You could be into just knowledge in general, you know what I mean? So don't let them put you in a box, man. So we're gonna start this over. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Lateral Move. No PC culture, all comedy, everything keeping it 1,000 trips up. I'm RJ Bam. I appreciate y'all being here with me. And I threw the double trips. That's how much of a triple threat I am. I'm a double triple threat. You know what I mean? Does that even make sense? I don't know. It don't matter. We're doing no headphones today. I'm fucking cruising, baby. And it sounds a little weird without the usually it's not so bad when you got fucking headphones on because the sound blocks everything else out, and I'm zoomed in and I'm focused on what the fuck I'm saying because I'm hearing my own voice. Without the fucking headphones though, it's a whole nother ball game. It's completely different without the headphones. It's different because if I have somebody else talking to, like on Pass Interference when Alex is here and we're chatting back and forth without headphones, that's some normal shit. That's just normal conversation. Now I'm well aware that I'm by myself on this podcast without the headphones because at least then it feels like I'm in a studio because everything else is blocked out. But I didn't feel like wearing that shit. Yo, jeez, man, where do I even want to start with this? Where do I want to start with this? Let's start with the Kanye album, man. Let's just start with that. Let's see where we get from here. Apparently, I'm the only one on this fucking Kanye album hype train because everybody's talking about how trash this album is. People talking about how it's horribly mixed, blah blah blah. It's garbage, whatever else they're fucking saying, dude. Apparently I thought this was one of the best albums I've heard in a while. You know, I was getting college dropout vibes from this album. Shouts out to my laugh plant and my group, and of course we gotta bring out the Jameson now. And this is actual Jameson here. This hasn't been opened up yet, but you know we a fan of whiskey around here, so we promote that shit. Jameson. That's our favorite. So, Lateral Move, Trips Up Crew. Jameson, man, we drinking that whiskey. Fuck Proper 12. Or whatever that absent is. Who the fuck is that guy? And oh man, I got so much to say about that too whenever we do Counterpunch. So, I was getting college dropout vibes from this album. I thought it was a phenomenal album. Zero cuss words, first of all, so that was kind of cool. I mean, I don't necessarily buy albums because there's no cuss words or because there are cuss words, but I was feeling it, you know? I was like, oh, surprised. There's like no explicit, the E, whatever, the explicit E wasn't there on the album. And so when the explicit, is it explicit? I don't know. Whenever the E ain't there, I'm usually like, oh man, it's the censored version. I gotta get the download the E version. But the E wasn't there on any of the versions. So I was like, oh shit, there's really no cuss words on this album. Dude, even Kanye was like, yo, I went from rapping about Jesus walks to rapping about you're such a fucking hoe, I love it. And like the way, like his last few albums kind of seemed like they were deteriorating a little bit. You know, we had College Dropout, which is phenomenal. Late Registration, which I actually thought was a little bit less than College Dropout, but then he came with a banger with Graduation. Probably his best album for a while until Dark Twisted Fantasy came out. That I thought was his best album. It was going through some dark shit. mom passing away and stuff. Then he had the 808s and Heartbreak when the marriage fell through. The I don't know if they ever got married. They were his fiance. They broke up. So he had that, and he did that album in like 3 weeks, and I thought that was a great album. But then every album from that point on was a little bit less, little bit less, little bit less. It's just deteriorating away. And then this album kind of seemed like it was him realizing how far he had fallen from grace. And he came out with this album, and people were like, that shit ain't cool, bro. Jesus ain't cool to rap about. And I don't really give a fuck, whether you do that kind of, whether you're whatever you would call it, a religious rapper or whatever, like Lecrae. But I just thought this album had just great beats to it. It was like it was like church choir vibes, but with like a not jazzy, but like a little jazzy, bluesy, like hip hop vibe to it. And it was I really dug this album. I thought it was cool, and of course it's Kanye being Kanye, and I thought it was a phenomenal album. I thought this was his best album in recent years. It's been like damn near a decade since he had a crazy album. Every album was, whatever. Like each album was getting less and less. Like people like Life of Pablo better than this, and I barely listen to Life of Pablo. I just thought it was a great album. And now, if I'm listening to this at the gym, there's maybe one song I'm listening to. Follow God might be the only one on there. But outside of that, if I'm just putting it on the background, man, it's a cool album to listen to. So I thought it was cool. I liked it. Most people did not, apparently. People were trashing this album. But that's kind of crazy that how many people hated this album. I thought it was great, but what the fuck do I know? McDonald's CEO is out for consensual relationship with an employee. That's kind of weird, right? I didn't read the article either. I just saw that headline, so I'm assuming he's fucking one of the people below him. And obviously, in terms of work, that's not allowed because you're in a different position. So now you have the ability to favor that person above somebody else who's working harder because you have a relationship with him, a sexual relationship. And I like that they put consensual because we were worried that he wasn't. But I mean, I'm assuming he's a white dude, so you know how white dudes be, just fucking raping people. No, actually the biggest rapist in history ended up being Cosby, and that motherfucker was black. Cosby's crazy. He's probably now notoriously the biggest rapist in Hollywood for sure. I mean, I would say in the world, but I'm sure Genghis Khan days and shit. I mean, they were raping and pillaging, and all the Roman days and shit. They were raping and pillaging. But none of them motherfuckers was famous, man. Genghis Khan was famous. That's about it. I don't know any Roman rulers. Fucking Julius Caesar. All I know him is him doing the thumbs up and thumbs down in the Colosseum when, not Leonidas. What's that? What was the dude's name from Gladiator? Whatever Russell Crowe's character's name, and that was Joaquin Phoenix. It's kind of funny. It only took about 20 years, but Julius Caesar ended up being the Joker, which is kind of fitting because they hated that motherfucker in that movie. He got overthrown, didn't he? Didn't get killed in that movie, and then he came back to life and became the Joker 20 years later or 30 years later. Not 30 years later. Can't be that long. Must have been 20 years later. 15 years later. Who cares? Was fucking Gladiator in the 90s? I thought that movie was in the 2000s. But what in the fuck was I talking about? How did I get on Gladiator, McDonald's CEO, consensual raping? Okay, I think that's where I got there from. But yeah, he had to step down. I think they told his ass, yo, you can't be fucking the fry girl and you be the CEO of McDonald's. That's just not going to... But at the same time, you're like, yo, I'm the CEO. Shut the fuck up or you're fired. Isn't that how that works? How's that shit work? Are you the CEO or are you not the CEO? Do you make the rules or not? Huh? Can you tell people to shut the... Trump be doing it? Trump got into office, and anybody that was said differently, well, he was like, well, you're fired. You know, you're fired. That's pretty much you're fired. And he just went around firing people that disagree with him, and now he only keeps yes men around him. Because that's just how he live his life. And that's not how you should live your life, because then you don't know how to stay grounded. But this motherfucker out here running the country like it's a business. Like it's Trump Towers. It's not Trump Towers. It's the United States of America. But yeah, I don't know how the rules of being a CEO goes. Like, I know there's majority shareholders. Do they get a say? I don't know. I don't run a company. I don't know. I mean, I guess I run Lateral Move. I run this company, this platform. This is all owned by me, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know why I brought that up. McDonald's out here whiling. Just fucking make the burgers, McDonald's. Just make the fucking burgers. Make me a fucking double Whopper, have it cost 50 cents, and slap some cheese on that bitch. Alright? And if I want breakfast at 4 p.m., make me my fucking breakfast. You already catered to these fat fucks by giving them salads and shit. Give me my breakfast at 4. Okay? Give me my Egg McMuffin at 4. When does breakfast start? After dinner? Then give me my breakfast at 9 p.m. I don't understand what the breakfast hours are. You're open 24 hours a day. The lunch ain't 24 hours a day. Like, if you can have a burger 24 hours a day, then give me a sandwich with some cheese and some sausage on it. Is that a sandwich? I guess technically it's a sandwich. Yo, technically, everything is a sandwich, right? If you got a biscuit and you put some shit in there, that's a sandwich. If you got a hot dog with the bun, that's a sandwich. Yo, you ever eat hot dogs with an actual piece of bread? Because, like, yo, hot dog buns are actually pretty garbage when you think about it. They kind of suck. The ballpark Frank buns, they kind of suck. Unless you like, what you need to do is just like lightly, you need to butter it up, is actually what you need to do. Butter it up and then lightly press it against the grill and give it that little bit of, just a little bit of something to it, and that might make it taste better. But yo, the hot dog buns are garbage. Actually, hot dogs in general are garbage. Don't eat hot dogs. It's like the intestines of the pigs. But hot dog buns are trash. So I remember when I used to just make hot dogs, I've done it in different ways. I've boiled them. I've microwaved them. I've cooked them on the stove. I've cooked them in the fucking oven. I've done that. I made it in the oven. I heated the oven up to 450 degrees and stuck some hot dogs in there and cooked them for 7.5 minutes. However long you're supposed to cook hot dogs for. You just turn the light. I don't know. You just turn it on. Just turn it on and turn on the light. And then when it looks like it's about to explode, take it the fuck out. That's what you got to do. That's what I do with my hot dogs. And one time I put them in regular bread. You know what I did? I put it down. I didn't even do it diagonally. I put that shit straight down the middle. And then what I did was I took the ketchup and the mustard and I did a little zigzag pattern. And then I folded the bread up and I ate it that way. You know what? Tasted better than a hot dog with buns. With the hot dog buns are garbage. And you know what? I also ate it with fucking 12 grain bread. And you know what? That bread is healthy comparatively. You know? You eating the hot dog bun, which is garbage white bread, and it tastes like shit. Or you can eat the 12 grain bread, which it's supposedly supposed to be better for you with the fiber and shit, and tastes better. You know what? Tastes better. Big proponent of hot dog eating. Get some hot dogs. That's the whole point of this podcast, is to let y'all know hot dogs with regular bread only. Okay? King shit only. And wash that shit down with some Jameson. That's what you need to do. Hot dogs and Jameson go together like white on rice. You know what I'm saying? That shit go together like an Asian dude and noodles. Okay? Asian bitches and Hello Kitty go together like hot dogs and Jameson whiskey. That's what's up. That's the most American shit ever. Where is Jameson made? Actually, because if it's not made in the US, then I just fucked up my whole... Okay, it's from Ireland. Distilled in Middleton, Ireland. So that didn't make any sense. That's not the most American shit. But hot dogs and Jameson go together like apple pie and when do people eat apple pie? The 4th of July, I guess? I mean, and McDonald's be serving apple pies all day long. Yo, you can get apple pies at McDonald's any time of the day, but they were reluctant to give you a fucking breakfast sandwich at 4 p.m. Go fuck yourself, McDonald's. That's the whole point. I'm glad your CEO fucking went to jail or whatever. Fucking underage girls. I'm just making shit up now. She wasn't underage, I don't think. I don't know. They actually didn't say. I didn't read the article. She might have been underage. She could have been underage. You know what? That bitch was underage. No wonder he had stepped down. Fuck that dude. I don't know what that dude's name is, but anybody who's the CEO of McDonald's, which, like, how does that even work? Because McDonald's is not, it's a corporation, but it's also a franchise. So, like, each individual McDonald's is owned by somebody else, right? Each individual McDonald's is owned by a person, not the same person, you know? Because you can franchise a McDonald's. And you're just paying the royalties to the dude that technically owns the name McDonald's. So you don't own McDonald's. You just own the name McDonald's because you franchised it out to people. So I'm not completely sure how that works. But that, so who the fuck was he dating? He don't even own a McDonald's. He just owns the name McDonald's. So I don't understand. Did he just go into a random McDonald's and start fucking? I don't understand. So does McDonald's still have a corporate office where they have like, maybe that's what McDonald's owns. Maybe that's what he owns. I'll figure this shit out, man. I'm figuring it out right now. All I gotta do is talk to myself long enough. I'll figure some shit out. I could probably solve all the questions of the universe if I just sat here long enough and thought about it. Now, will it make sense? Maybe. Will it make sense to me? Because it'll make sense to us. Because you would have listened to my thought process. So, in that, yeah. You know, we got it. We got it. That's what we do. This is the learning podcast, man. It's Lateral Move, but it's the learning podcast. We used to read the dictionary on this podcast, if y'all remember. Actually, it wasn't the dictionary. It was Wikipedia, which can be updated by anybody on the internet. And whereas the dictionary is owned by Webster or whatever the fuck. But and what's the second name in Webster? Because it's not just Webster's dictionary. There's a Webster hyphenated something. Anyway, why did Webster like go in with somebody else on that dictionary? He could have had all the royalties to himself. And also, you got a dictionary, right, which defines words. Who let the thesaurus dude come out? First of all, thesaurus sounds like a dinosaur. So name it something different. Go back in time, name it something different. And if your name was thesaurus, are you a Roman leader with the thesaurus? It's the worst name ever. Achilles, Hercules, Achilles, thesaurus. Also thesis, like thesis paper. Stupid name. Dissertation sound better. Thesis sounds like you sound like the bitch ass dude that Achilles beat up in Troy. The bitch ass dude that Brad Pitt beat up. Didn't he beat that dude up? Or did he fight the other dude? Yo, I can't remember. No. Brad Pitt fought Paris's older brother. And killed him, right? Yeah, he killed Paris's older brother because Paris was supposed to fight. Alright, we'll solve this. We'll solve it. So Paris goes off. So the story of Troy, the movie Troy, started the movie way too late. Okay? They didn't even show the background of why the war started in the first place. So they're pretty stupid about that. They try to make the story about Achilles, and the story of Troy is not even about Achilles. He was just a side character in that whole legend, right? So basically, this bitch ass dude Paris is the second son of the king of Troy, right? And he's the younger brother of that handsome dude Eric Bana, right? He's the younger brother of Eric Bana. Was he, and I'm pretty sure not only was he the younger brother of Eric Bana, he was the adopted younger brother of Eric Bana because that motherfucker wasn't blood, right? So they adopted this kid, this bitch ass kid that was sent down from the heavens or whatever the fuck. He has some ties with the gods or something. There was a curse on there was a curse on Paris from the gods that some shit, wild shit's gonna happen in his life, right? I can't remember the exact curse because I don't know voodoo like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not woo woo. I can't repeat the curse, and I'm not into seances. I'm not trying to invite any ghosts or demons up in this bitch. So I keep telling the story more and more in reverse. I started here, then he was an adult. Now I went to him as a kid. I'm gonna go back to his inception. Now his parents, I keep calling them Thesis because it's a dumbass name. Yo, the Thesis, stupid fucking name. Paris, curse on him. Got adopted by the king. Why? Who knows? I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. Now this bitch ass dude, this bitch ass kid Paris, grows up, and his older brother got his shit together. His older brother's like, yo, I'm gonna be the king of this ruling country, Troy, this nation, whatever you want to call it. We got the waters are right there. We're in the middle of everything. We got the jackpot, okay? We hit the jackpot, motherland. We have the best spot. We have all the best trade routes. The fucking sea is right there. Everything got to go through us, right? So he's like, yo, I'm gonna be king soon. When my old man finally kicks the bucket, I got my wife and kids or whatever the fuck, and we doing some real shit here. And then he got a bitch ass younger brother that was adopted. And Paris is like, yo, I don't want to fucking marry nobody, and I'm not really part of this family, and so I'm just gonna go around and fuck bitches for a while, which is whatever. You can do you. You're a fucking prince, and bitches want to sleep with you. So the king goes, hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go across the sea, and I want you to strengthen the ties, the bond that we have with. Is it Sparta? No, it wasn't Spartan. It was another kingdom, right? That wasn't Troy. And I can't remember who were the Trojans fighting? Somebody, right? Anyway, it was somebody that they already had good ties with, but they wanted to strengthen ties. And so he basically sent Paris on a bullshit mission just to make him feel relevant, right? Because Paris is an absolute fuck. He ain't doing shit. He's the fucking spoiled ass kid. Even though he shouldn't be the spoiled kid. He should be the kid that has his shit in order because he was adopted. But he ain't like that. He's an idiot. He's a fucking... Paris is a bitch ass kid, right? So he sends him on this bullshit mission. He's like, yo, there's no fucking way you can mess up this mission. Go out there. Strengthen it. We're gonna give you... Dude, it's simple. I'm giving you this fucking treasure chest. You put the treasure chest... Carry it onto the ship, or have one of your slaves do it. Take the ship, go to Sparta, or wherever. Unload the treasure, give it to the king, have dinner with the family, high five them, and come fucking back. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Wine them, dine them, and leave. This motherfucker Paris goes over there, meets with the king. Everything's handy dandy. Is that a phrase? Handy dandy? It is now. Everything's handy dandy. He gives him the fucking... So far, so good. He made the trip. He went to the right fucking place. Because he had help. Bitch-ass Paris. He got to the place that he needed to go to. Unloaded the treasure. Met the king. Was like, hey, king. This is what my king sent you. And the king was like, phenomenal. I was looking for some more sheep wool and mirrors. And jewels. Give that shit to my wife, man. And so he's like, Paris, come, let's have dinner. Please, eat with me, sit with me, eat with me. To be continued. Hold on a second. I gotta restart this fucking... It's been 25 minutes. Usually I wait a little bit longer, but y'all know how we do. We're gonna do it a little early. Alright, recording's back up. So, he said, Paris, come have dinner with me. Thank you for making that trip. Tell your father I say what's up. But I'm glad you're here. Have dinner. Let's enjoy the wine. Let's enjoy the food that these slaves that I got. I bet you my slaves can cook better than your slaves. Slaves! Make the food. right? So they're sitting, they're chilling, having a good time. Everyone's getting drunk. And then all of a sudden he's like, yo, bring the treasures to my wife. And he got a young-ass wife, right? He got this young-ass wife named Helen. And Helen comes down the stairs, and Paris is all of a sudden enamored. He's like, yo. The first glance that he takes at this bitch, the first thought that goes through Paris's bitch-ass head is, I'm gonna fuck this bitch, right? And so the king, him, the wife, everybody's getting trashed. The king gets trashed. King goes to sleep. Paris sneaks off with the wife and fucks the wife, right? Bitch-ass Paris doing bitch-ass Paris shit because that's what Paris be doing. He's an absolute liability, okay? He's as much of a liability for the Trojans as that bitch-ass dude from The Notebook was at cornerback for the Titans in Remember the Titans. He was an absolute liability at cornerback. That dude was trapped. And also, hey, do you remember in Remember the Titans when Petey he kept fucking dropping the ball, fumbling for some reason. Who knows why? He was supposed to rush for 2,000 yards, man. But that shit didn't happen. He kept fumbling the fucking ball. So Herman Boone pulled him out the game and says, Petey, keep dropping the fucking ball. Sit your bitch ass on the bench. And Petey's like, oh, and then he's like, yo, shut the fuck up and sit on the bench until you learn how to hold the goddamn ball. We're going to glue your hands together, you bitch. And then he slumps off. And then the assistant coach, who was the head coach last year but lost his fucking teaching, his position because he white and everybody was white and they brought in the black dude. Anyway, he pulls Petey off to the side and goes, yo, Petey, I know that's kind of fucked up. And he's like, yo, that's a fucking that was a scholarship that I just threw away right there, man. Fucking, I can't play for this shit, man. And he's like, yeah, I understand. Why don't you come play linebacker for me? And he's like, what you mean? He's like, come play linebacker for me. Number 27's out there killing it. Come play linebacker for me. And so he pulls Petey, or he's like, yeah. He's like, what you mean now? That's literally what he said. He goes, what you mean right now? He's like, yeah, it's fine. You'll be fine. Just go play linebacker for me. It's fine. Just cover 21, whatever the fucking number was. You just cover number 27. And he's like, and he's all there freaked out. He's like, and then so he sends Petey in the game, and he pulls out that bitch ass dude from The Notebook. What's his name? Ryan Gosling. So he pulls Ryan Gosling out, right? He's like, go play linebacker for me, and he pulls out Ryan Gosling, right? And then Ryan Gosling's dad's freaking out on he's pulling my kid! He's pulling my kid! Right? So, and then Hayden Panettiere's little tiny ass is like, he's just getting beat. He's like, shut up, little girl! How you pulling my kid? And then he's like, he's just getting beat on defense. He pulls that kid out, right? So, he pulls that kid out, puts Petey in at linebacker. Petey's playing linebacker. He's literally behind the line, back in the line, right? I don't know if he's middle or side linebacker. I don't know what position he's playing, but he's one of the linebackers. Now, the problem that I have with this is he puts Petey in at linebacker. Ryan Gosling's character was a corner. So why would he pull out Ryan Gosling? Did he pull out Ryan Gosling and then shift somebody else over to corner and put Petey in at corner? Because Petey's playing linebacker. And we know the other dude's playing corner because he kept getting beat on the corner by the receiver. So none of that shit even made sense. Get your shit together. Remember the Titans? That's one of my favorite football movies of all time. One of my favorite sports movies in general of all time. And y'all fucked up the positions of football. You put you put Petey in at linebacker and you pulled out a corner. That shit don't make sense, man. Get your shit together. Now, back to Paris's bitch ass. I just gotta get that off my chest. Paris. So Paris sleeps with the Spartan King's wife. And he decides, you know what? I'm not gonna go back tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna stay for like a week. So he hangs out there for like a week. Fucking his wife on the low. Like a scumbag. Right? Because that's what Paris do. Paris out here doing Paris shit. Because he been handing shit to him. Shit's been handed to him since he was a kid, even though he was a fucking adopted kid. The worst, by the way, worst adopted kid in history. Paris. The worst adopted kid in history. That's the name of this fucking podcast. Paris was the Trojan Kingdom. Paris was the worst adopted kid in history, right? So, sticks around for a week fucking this bitch. and then finally decides, you know what? It's time for me to go home. And even the king is probably like, Paris, isn't it time for you to go home? You've been eating my fucking food for a week. Okay, it's cool, you brought the wool. You didn't even bring the meat from the sheep. You just shaved the fucking sheep and kicked them off the side of a mountain. I could have used that meat. And now you out here fucking my wife. He didn't know about it, right? So, he's like, Paris, isn't it time to go home? And Paris like, you right, it's time to go home. And he goes, one more, listen to my last night. And on that last night, he's fucking the wife again, Helen, who's young, super young. King is old, Helen is young, Paris is young, whatever. They're fucking, and he's like, bitch, you need to come back with me, fuck this. And she's like, I can't come back. He's like, no, bitch, you need to come back with me. I can't live without you. This is this relationship that I found within the last 4 days has been the greatest relationship I've ever seen in my life. You're the most beautiful woman. I can't not be with you forever. These last 4 days of my life have been mind-altering, life-changing. Please come back with me. And she's like, I can't. He's like, bitch, you need to. And for some reason, they go to bed, and he wakes up in the morning, and somehow she decides, you know what? Even though I told him no, I'm going to say yes. And so she sneaks off back on a boat with Paris, right? She's coming back with Paris. And then, did they show that in Troy? I can't remember how Troy started. I could have sworn Troy just started with fucking Brad Pitt just swinging his sword and shit, and people praising him. I thought the movie Troy started with Brad Pitt just waking up next to like two random bitches. I could have sworn that's how Troy started, but maybe Troy did start with them on the ship. I think it started with them on the ship. So you kind of sort of got a backstory, but not really. It just started with them bringing the bitch back on a ship, right? So he brings this bitch back, sneaking her in a box. And I think in the movie Troy, Eric Bana went with him. So in the movie Troy, the king was like, yo, I want Paris to do this, but actually I'm sending Eric Bana's character, Hector. Hey, also, why is your name Hector, man? You ain't fucking, you European. You ain't Mexican. Hector, I'm here to save the day. Why was his name Hector? So in the movie Troy, he sent Hector and Paris tagged along. But the real story is Paris went. That was Paris' mission, right? So Paris comes back with this bitch in a box. He's like, this my bitch in a box. It's my bitch in a box. And then so she comes back and they welcome her. They're like, oh my god, this is Paris coming back from his mission. Why is Helen of Sparta or wherever, was she Helen of Sparta at the time? Why is Helen here? And then he's like, hey, Paris, thanks for coming back. And Hector's like, oh, Paris, holy shit. What the fuck is that bitch doing here? And then everyone's like, is the king of Sparta here? And he's like, nope, it's just Helen. And they're like, what you mean it's just Helen? And he's like, well, Dad, Helen decided that she don't want to be with that king anymore and she want to be with me, so she came back with me. And everyone was like, skirt. What? Hey, dickhead. We told you to go over there and strengthen the bond between our two kingdoms, and you went over there and took his bitch. That's kind of the opposite of what we told you to do. You kind of dropped the ball on that one, huh? And Paris was like, yeah, but you know, that pussy's just so good, you know, and look at her. She's supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. Helen of Sparta just became Helen of Troy, you know what I'm saying? And that's, and then everyone was like, yo, and then everyone was like, okay, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna allow her to stay? And Hector was like, yo, send the bitch back, man. We can't send the bitch back. And then Paris was like, yo, you ain't sending that bitch back. That's my bitch now. That's my bitch in a box. She ain't going back. And Hector was like, fucking this idiot. Why did we adopt him? Why did we adopt this kid? Huh? We're about to fucking get Trojan horsed. Why did we adopt this kid? So they allow Helen to stay, and Helen gets treated like shit, right? She's there, and everyone's like, this fucking trifling ass bitch. You fucking sleeping with other dudes when you got a husband. She gets treated like shit for a while. And so the morning comes, right? So now we backtrack. Back to the morning where they left. They leave. The king wakes up probably in the afternoon because he's so fucking drunk from drinking wine and shit. And he's like, yo, where's Helen? And then everyone's like, we cannot find Helen. Can't find Helen. And then he eventually realizes this bitch left on the ship. And in his mind, and even though it's like, yo, she left because she wanted to leave, he's like, that bitch ain't got a choice. Who says she got a choice in the matter? She didn't leave because she wanted to leave. That bitch ass Paris stole her. And so then he comes gathering his army. He's like, yo, everybody get together. We about to fuck this dude Paris up. So they all end up going to Troy. They're going to battle it out for Paris. Paris gets in a fight with that dude. Loses the fight. And then runs off. That's basically what happens. And now in the movie, what happens is, in Troy, Paris is in the middle of the fight. He's whimpering or whatever. And then Eric Bana comes out and stabs the motherfucker and was like, this fight is over, bitch. That's not quite how that happened. But in the movie Troy, that's how that happened. And then they recruited Brad Pitt. And then they recruited Brad Pitt because he didn't want no part of the fucking fight. He's like, yo, I'm not fucking anybody's slave. I do whatever the fuck I want to. And then his cousin got killed, or his nephew, some shit like that. His cousin, I think. And then that's how they recruited him, because Hector accidentally killed. They brought the cousin, and Hector thought it was him coming for him, and then he killed him first and realized he killed the cousin and was like, oh shit. And then Brad Pitt came in at that point because he's like, yo, this motherfucker killed my cousin. And then he fucked up Eric Bana. Now, in the real story, Hector doesn't interfere, and bitch ass Paris just runs the fuck off, and he's like, this is what you left me for? How did I start on this in the first place? Yo, it's wild that I could just go off on the shit for so long and not even know why I started this in the first place. But hey, but the point is, Paris was a bitch, okay? Paris was a bitch, and he had a stupid ass name, and like Thesis. That's where it came from. Thesaurus to Thesis to Paris to Helen of Troy. That's how we got here, okay? Right? And so, to sum up, Paris was the worst adopted kid in history. Now, yo, I was at Ivar's, which is a seafood chowder house type thing. So, right? So, me and my girl, we got done with the workout one day, and we were like, yo, she was really craving some fucking clam chowder, and I was like, yo, clam chowder sound kind of nice. So we went to Ivar's, right? I ordered the 4-piece combo. She got the halibut or whatever the fuck. And so we sitting down with our fish and chips, and then they bring in the clam chowder, right? But before they bring our food, we sit at the table. We're chilling. Everything's cool. We're hungry as fuck. And there's an Asian dude behind me, nerdy as shit. But he's big. He's a bigger Asian dude. You don't really see that too often. He's a little taller, a little huskier. And he's sitting there with his computer, of course. And he's sitting there chilling or whatever. And all of a sudden, like, he leans to the side. And my girl's like, yo, I'm going to go to the bathroom, wash my hands or whatever. And I was like, cool, I already washed my hands. I'm sitting there. And this dude leans to the side and just rips one. Now, it threw me off because I'm like, well, he couldn't have just did that because that was kind of loud. And we're in a fucking Ivar's restaurant. And it's not packed, but there's at least 3 or 4 other groups of people eating here. You know, there's like a little family here, mom and kids over there or whatever. And so he just goes, and I was like, well, that couldn't have been a fart. No way that could have been a fart. And then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, yeah, that was definitely a fart. What the fuck? Because it smelled bad. And so I got farted on the Ivar's, man. And it was pretty rude. I thought it was very rude. Because he could have just gone to the bathroom and farted and come back. But instead he wanted to fart right on my back. He literally farted on my back because he was sitting right here. And he went And I was like, well, that's pretty gross. And then it stunk, and I was pretty upset about that. But what made it better was he then went to the bathroom, probably because he was like, oh, I shuddered. You know what? I just realized he went to the bathroom like right after that, so he probably sharted. That motherfucker sharted in his pants, and he had to get the rest of it out. So he went to the bathroom, the ambulance. He went to the bathroom, and when he came back out, I thought he was leaving, but he wasn't leaving. I thought he was gonna gather his shit and leave, but no, he was just he sat back down. So then I was like, okay, don't fart again. And then when he did leave, right, and then like 10 minutes later he actually was leaving. He got up and his phone slipped out from his whatever and landed on the ground, and he probably cracked the screen because I looked down and it didn't have a screen protector or a case on it. So that's what you get for farting on me, bruh. That's what you get for farting on me. Ain't nobody gonna fart on me and get away with it. How dare you, right? How dare you? Yo, you know what else happened? I almost killed a kid. My mom runs a daycare, right? She got a daycare, and one time I came home, and I was chilling, and there's one kid, he was cool or whatever, he's like a bigger kid, and he had teeth, and all the kids are eating in the daycare. They're all sitting in the high chairs eating, and there's one kid, he's probably like a year and a half old, but he's a bigger kid, and I like him a lot. He's cool, he's really cute, he's quiet, and he always waves to me, gives me high fives and fist bumps, because I taught him that. He got a man bun, and I think he's cute. And he's sitting there chilling, staring at me, and I'm staring at him, and then I look on the table, and there's like carrots that have been sliced. And so I was like, and he's just staring at me as I'm eating. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna give this kid a carrot. He got teeth, so I like break off a little piece of carrot and I put it down, and he just puts it in his mouth. And then I was like, and then my mom was over there, and I was like, hey, yo, can he eat carrots? And she was like, what? And I was like, the kid, can he eat a carrot? And she's like, why? And I was like, what? Cause he looked hungry, and so there's a carrot over here, and he had teeth, and she's like, wait, you gave him a carrot? And I was like, yeah. I broke off a little piece of carrot and gave it to him. She's like, he can't have that, and she ran over and took it out of his mouth. And she's like, you gotta cook these carrots and make them soft. He can't just be chewing this shit. He's gonna choke on it and die. And I was like, but he got teeth. And she's like, it doesn't matter. He just has the front teeth. And I was like, oh, well, see, ain't nobody say that to me. I just saw teeth in his mouth, so I was like, oh, this motherfucker know how to chew. And she's like, no, you gonna kill that kid. You can't just be giving him raw carrots. And I was like, oh, fuck it. I eat raw carrots. I thought he could eat raw carrots. That motherfucker's huge. He's a year and a half old. He looks like he's 4, okay? It's a big-ass baby. And he got teeth. And he's staring at me like, yo, give me the carrot. Obviously, I'm gonna give him the carrot. Don't blame me. Don't put the fuck is a carrot out here for then? Cook the carrot then. Cook the carrot then. Alright? If you don't want me to feed your kid carrots, don't leave carrots out. Because I'm feeding all the kids carrots. Okay? If I see a carrot, I'm shoving it down a kid's mouth. I don't even give a fuck if if I see a carrot, that's the first thing I think of. I go, where the fuck is a kid who I can shove this down their mouth? So yeah, I almost killed a kid, man. That was crazy. Apparently, babies are not skilled enough to eat carrots. Apparently, I did not know that. Apparently, you gotta cook the carrots and make them real soft and shit, and then they can chew on it. And even if they chew on it with their gums, it will smother the carrot and they can eat it. But you can't feed kids raw carrots apparently because they will die apparently. Yo, do you see that Gina Rodriguez was she was getting her hair did? First of all, Gina Rodriguez is the bitch that plays Jane the Virgin in that TV show Jane the Virgin, right? So she's a Mexican? I don't know. She's a Latina woman. Some sort of Latina woman. And she was getting her hair did, and she was rapping to a song, and I can't remember which song, but the song had the N-word in it, as all rap songs do, except for Kanye's new album, which is fire. Now, what does that tell you? Kanye's new album is shit, because it don't have no cuss words or N-words. It just has the word Jesus and God in it quite a bit, with dope beats. Now, and church choir in the background. And so she's rapping to some rap song, and the N-word is in the song, and she just raps as is, and then must have gotten a lot of flack for it, because like the clip that I saw was her doing it, and then the clip right after was her apologizing for doing it, saying she don't want to offend anybody, she doesn't want to hurt anybody, it was wrong of her to say. Now, I understand why she did it. Now, do I really think that she's sorry that she said it? No, I don't. I think she's trying to save her career because she knows she's an actor and she works in Hollywood, and Hollywood's super liberal, and you don't want to offend anybody, and you don't want to do blah, 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 blah. And so she knows that if she doesn't issue that apology, they might fire her, right? So that's really the only reason she issued that apology. Because, look, rap songs got the N-word in it. That's just how it is. Now, do you realize that rappers, majority of their audience, and by majority I mean 70% of their audience is white? So when A$AP Rocky is out there at the concerts singing rap songs to his audience, it's all white dudes out there, and they're singing the N-word right back with him. Now, when you sing the N-word in a big-ass group of people, it's apparently not an issue. But when you sing the N-word alone, and she ain't even white, bro. She's like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like, she wasn't even being like, she was literally just singing the words to a song as the song was written. And she wasn't even, there's no ill will with it. There was no, like, we have to start judging people on intent. Now, she did it to save her career, and so I get why she did it. But like, well, I'm just saying, intent is everything. Look, if somebody wants to be racist, I'm not saying give everybody a free pass to say whatever they want. I mean, I'm saying judge people on their intent. Because, like, here's the thing. Other comedians have said this. Bert Kreischer has said that when he was in Florida, they use, for black people, like, instead of saying the N-word, the white people there, instead of saying the N-word to describe black people, they would call black people Canadians. They're like, yo, a lot of Canadians out here in this room. Right? So, like, if you, like, and then Russell Peters has said that when he was up in Canada, they used to say Mondays. They used to call black people Mondays. They're like, yo, ain't nothing like a fucking Monday, right? Ain't nobody like... And they call them Mondays because nobody likes Mondays, right? And so, like... And so what I'm trying to say is, like, if you try to take a certain word out of the vernacular, the only thing that's going to happen is the people that are racist are going to create a new word. Like, the intent is always going to be there. So, like, you're never going to... Just because they're not saying this word, they're just going to make a new word, is all I'm saying. So... I thought it was pretty whack, like, but at the same time, the N-word is pretty divisive word, especially for white people. She ain't even white though. Like, I associate the N-word more as like a socioeconomic word than anything, because like Tekashi 6ix9ine is a perfect example. Dude is Puerto Rican, and he grew up saying the N-word because of where he grew up and how he grew up in socioeconomically underdeveloped communities. And so, like, for me, like, if I hear a black dude that grew up high class saying the N-word, like, sounds weird to me. Sounds weirder to me than a Mexican kid from the hood saying it. Like, a Mexican kid from the hood saying the N-word fits more than a black kid in the suburbs with rich parents saying it, right? To me. But at the same time, that black kid's got all the pass in the world to say it. But like, that's basically all I'm saying, is that like it for me it holds more true socioeconomically than anything else. But like, yeah, I thought it was pretty whack that she had to issue that apology. But I understand why she did it. We live in a time now where, because she has something that they can take away, she's like, okay, I don't want to lose my career over this, because she's still young, man. She's a young actress, and she has a lot of fucking clock left to work with, in that community. So in that career. So yeah, it's kind of wild. I remember, this is completely, you ever go gambling? Like, I want to talk about gambling a little bit, because sports betting is about to become legal, and like there's going to be a team that they're going to bring in to Vegas now. There's going to be a football team there, and when sports betting becomes legal across the board, we're going to start to see a lot of different changes. We're going to see a lot of different rule changes, the way people officiate the games, the way the players participate in the games. We definitely 100% are going to see a lot of difference in games, in fights, in everything, because there's going to be a lot more money on the line. And when people's money's on the line, you know what I mean? Like, the point spread is going to be a lot more important. So like, gambling is going to definitely affect sports once it becomes legal. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever gambled, or how often you guys go to the casino or whatever. Like, the way I do it, I remember what I like to do is, before I even go to a casino, I like to pull a certain amount of cash out, that I go, how much money am I willing to lose, and do I just chalk it up to the game and be like, I'm cool with it, right? So last time I went just to like the local casino, I pulled out $200, and I was like, yo, if I lose this $200, it is what it is. If I lose at gambling, I lost $200 gambling, and I'm fine with it, right? That's how I looked at it. So if I leave with more than 200, awesome. If I leave with 200, broke even. And if I leave with nothing, I'm fine, because I've already decided 200 is my limit for losing, right? So when I get there, I'm not going to pull out more money, 200, right? So I've already pulled it out of the bank account, so whatever the bank account says now, that's what I have now. This 200 is just play money at this point. My buddy Mike, we went to the casino a few years back. This dude, bro, what were we even playing? I was playing blackjack, and I think he was was he at the roulette table, or was he doing the fucking, I think he might have just been playing the fucking slots. I can't remember. Was he playing penny slots? He was doing something for a while, and this dude lost $50. 50, a quarter of what I'm willing to lose. $50, which is nothing, dude. That's a good meal at a nice restaurant. $50, right? That's like 4 steaks at Costco. $50, right? It's not that much, especially for the activity that you're trying to participate in. He spent more than that on different things. $50 is basically what I'm trying to say, is 50 to him is not much, because I've seen him spend more on other things. Let me start this camera over before I continue with this story. So the $50, right? He gets $50 that he loses, and this dude throws a fucking temper tantrum. What did I just say? This dude throws the temper tantrum. He gets so upset about losing $50. He goes, I don't want to be here no more. I'm sick of this shit, man. We got to go home. I'm sick of it. Dude, it's fucking, we got to the casino at like 9:30. He lost $50 by 11. And he was like ready to go home. And we're like, hey bro, like there's more shit to do at this casino. There's a dance floor, there's drinks. We haven't done anything but gamble for the last hour and a half. Sorry you lost $50. But we all came in a big ass group, and he's just throwing a temper tantrum. And he's like, yo, I'm fucking sick. I'm done. I'm done. My night is done, man. I'm done. I can't believe I lost that money. And we're like, can't believe you lost that money. What are you talking about? Yo, if you don't have $50 to lose, don't gamble. You could literally walk into the casino and not do anything. You didn't have to gamble. You could have pulled out $5 and just done the penny slots all night. You probably would have come out a winner, because the penny slots, the chances of winning are way higher. But yo, it was wild to see him lose $50 and just be so upset that he lost $50. He didn't want to do nothing no more. But and then like there was like the billionaire or whatever. I'm assuming he was a billionaire. That dude that bet on the Astros winning the World Series. He put like, what did he put? Like 2.5 million down on the Astros winning the World Series in order to win like 11 million, and then after taxes was 7. We talked about this. That dude lost $2.5 million because the Astros didn't win, the Nationals won. By the way, this is the first World Series that I can remember in recent times that the Nationals win for the first time ever. The Nationals win a World Series. No one talked about the World Series at all. Zero. Nothing on the sports networks didn't talk about it. CBS Sports, ESPN, you know what I'm saying? Sports Nation. Nobody fucking talked about that Nationals winning the World Series. I didn't see no broadcast about it. No social media. I mean, there's like one social media post from like ESPN. That's it. It was not that big a deal. No one gave a fuck about the Nationals winning the World Series. The fucking World Series. America's pastime, quote unquote, even though it's not fuck baseball. But like, that's wild. No one talked about this shit at all. That dude lost $2.5 million. Mike lost 50. That dude went home and went, yeah, happens. Mike went home and probably punched his dog in the face. Like, I don't know what white people do when they want to take out their fucking anger. Call up their girlfriend and call them a cunt. I don't know what white people do. What do white dudes do other than murder their wives? Or is that wives? Is that white wives that murder their husbands? I can't remember. It's one of the two. Either the white wives are murdering their white husbands or white husbands are murdering their white wives. I can't remember which one happens more often, and then the other one has to go on the attack. I'm not sure. Oh, no. It's wives. Husbands definitely murder their wives because the white wives are just saying the most foul shit to their husbands. Because these white bitches are crazy, bro. They're talking about fucking, yeah, that's what I'm gonna fuck your best friend, and that's how they end up getting murdered. You bitch, what the fuck did you just say? These white bitches is crazy, bro. As always, these white bitches is crazy. We appreciate y'all listening this week, man. And that's the message I want to leave y'all with. These white bitches are fucking crazy. That's it, man. That's it for this week. We appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for listening. As always, this podcast ain't going nowhere without y'all. Y'all the whole reason, man. I'm trying to entertain y'all. So, yo, trips up. Thank you for listening. We'll see y'all next week. Deuces.